Picture. Come on. Alright. Here we go. Oh, don't give me so. Oh, wait. Hold on. Now, last time I introduced somebody, they did this to me. So, you know what? This time, Genia, if I can have you come sit down, please.
I know our members are going to the back where we ask them to now. They're like so used to it.
Part of the fun of introducing the speaker is taking them to the back. That's the fun part. You can't take the fun away. Elias does all the time. You gotta let me have some fun. So, is my cameraman ready?
We've been rolling for like almost a minute now.
Alright, sweet. So I'm up here to introduce our featured speaker. Who's ready for some great golden nuggets? Yeah. Now, who's here just to listen to the ambassadors talk all day? Alright, I didn't think there was anyone here wanting to just listen to us. Alright, so Genia, if I can have you go all the way to the back now. We'll make sure we get, people moving today, right? So, our special speaker today is Genia Janssen. I hope that I pronounced that last name right.
Yeah.
With Drake Productions. So she's actually going to talk to us today about who has websites. So you're going to really want to pay attention, because she's going to talk to us today about 12 mistakes people make on their websites. Isn't that a great topic? Yeah. So, Genia and her husband Ludo founded Janssen & Janssen Associates in 1992. It's a long time. Congratulations. In the beginning, Janssen & Associates was more of a product marketing company. With the advent of the internet, the focus changed to the internet marketing. It was a leap of faith for them, but they looked at it as a challenge, something that really worked. So, pop out your pens and papers, get ready to write down some great golden nuggets. And first of all, help me welcome today's special speaker, Genia Janssen!
So if anybody doesn't have a handout, just raise your hand and we'll pass them out.
The guy behind the camera needs one.
You guys know how to hurt a person because I have a nasty bird and my left foot, so I put my best foot forward.
Oh.
That's what I told Sal. Anyway, a little bit about me. Ludo and I work together. He does the media side of the business and I do the websites. I've been doing websites full time for 13 years and I spent over 15 years in high tech writing code.
Wow.
And I've learned a lot of things, database. My background, I'm originally from Peru, German background. I do speak Spanish. And I have a bachelor's and master's degree in chemical engineering, which I did for about 3 years. Got the solution and decided to go into code. So that's it about me. I wanted to talk, and I like to make this kind of fun because it can be really boring if I get technical on websites. But if you're going to have a website, how many here have gone to websites and been totally turned off? Yeah. Okay? Either because they look terrible, they don't work, the links are broken, you can't see. If they're an eye test, meaning the font is so tiny, especially on handheld devices, you can't see it. And and it could be like you were saying, it could be wonderful, the content, the look might be great, but what's in there is not.
Right.
Okay, so that's important. Okay, sites that never change. Last modified 2002. Now, it's down in the bottom, or you go to the website and it never changes at all. How many of you know that when you go to google.com they change the front page?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Search engines like change. So if you have a website and say, well, I don't like that picture, we need to make it more modern, then it's time to make changes, even if they're small changes. Really important now. And another thing about change, how many of you remember the newsletters that people used to send in the mail?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well now we don't do that. We use constant contact. use Facebook, we use all of these things now. So it's the same thing with a website. It's got to change.
Yep.
Long scrolling pages. These pages just go on and on and on. And the most important information is at the bottom of the page, or they put the navigation menu at the bottom of the page. And you're not at the smartphone, and you're trying to scroll.
It can be a pain.
Yeah. Okay. Another one, big one. Lack of navigation support. You go to a website or you see a link and you go to this particular page, you can't get back. Okay? Or you gotta keep hitting the back button. No. You've got to have menus that are easy to navigate. And again, I'm gonna go back with the handheld devices. We do not have a mouse. And so we want to make it as easy. We may need to do pull down menus, things like that. We may need to have a picture on the side where you click and immediately takes you to a particular page that's really important. But you really need to have good navigation. Obnoxious backgrounds. You don't want anything in a real, like a kaleidoscope or anything like that, unless it's a kid's website. I mean, in your case, you might look for ballooning or anything, but it's really got to be business-like.
What?
Okay? Moving text, display marquees, animation effects. Have you ever been to just all of this moving stuff all over the place? You keep it to a minimum.
Hey, Genia, is that like fireworks on your screen?
Yeah, and it keeps on going and going and going.
It's like the Energizer Bunny.
And this is also true with sound. I mean, there's nowhere to turn off the sound. Okay?
Preach it.
Yeah, so it really, you can have a little bit of moving text, a little. There's a flash. We do have some flash on our websites, and in some cases I'll talk about Edge in a minute. But we have a little bit of flash, and then it stops. Okay, so it doesn't take the attention off of the content of the website. Use of the latest bells and whistles. Okay, this is not so much on the website, but if you have a blog and you install some of these plugins, and then they have a newer version of WordPress and the plugin no longer works, make sure that other people have used that. And this goes to social media, and if you want some things on websites, some links to other websites that do some effects, you want to make sure they're going to work, okay? And be also very, very careful that they don't have viruses. So always ask around, has anybody used this application? And if you get a few, all yeses and no nos, then it's probably safe. Okay. Lost pages. And I talked about this earlier. Those are pages that are just here, and then you don't know where you came from, or you left the website, you can't get back to the website. Make it easy for the people, and make sure you check all your links and make sure all your links are working. Okay? Nothing else in this page cannot be found. You don't want that. Never underline anything but a hyperlink. I have seen so many websites and blogs that have underlining, and the first thing you want to do is put your mouse over it, and it doesn't work. And I've seen it in some that have underlining plus underlining, and some are hyperlinks, and some aren't. You're going to frustrate the people who visit your website. Okay, this one I need to explain. It's getting less and less that I don't use frames. What frames are is when part of the page moves and the other part stays. I'm not talking about backwards. I'm talking about you have a left column and you have a right column, and you go scroll down, but the other part, search engines hate that. It makes it very hard to find. It's very hard to program, and I really can't understand why anybody would even use those, but they are still there. If you have frames, get rid of them. Oh, number 10, lack of search engine optimization. Okay, you got a really nice website, nobody can find you. There are a lot of things you have to do. One thing, never do this. Where you, like the white part of the page, you put white text, you make it white so that people don't see if the search engines do. You will get blacklisted if you do that right now on the website. But make sure you've got keywords, make sure you've got testimonials, make sure that, well, you can install something, the webmaster can do this, Google Analytics, and you can find out how people are finding you. You can also install a search box, and that's internal. That's once they get into your website, what are they looking for? And that will also help you tweak your website to what you want it to be. The other thing that's really important is, if you Google me, I'm first on LinkedIn, then Facebook, then Business, and my website's actually a little lower. Search engines love social media, so make sure that your social media has links to your websites. It has a link to your blog if you have a blog, but make sure, because incoming links, it's called relevance, some of you may know the term. Incoming links are the most important thing that search engines look at when they rank your website. So make sure, the other thing you can do is cross-link. Like let's say, Roberta, I'll put a link to your website on this affiliate or favorite links or useful links, you put a link to mine. That's still considered an incoming link. So be sure that you cross-link to each other. Be sure you take advantage of social media and put those links there. Okay, number 11. This one for me is probably the really toughest one to do. Well, I used to have to support Netscape, which was a real pain. I don't miss it.
What's Netscape? No, just kidding.
Yeah, well, you've got to
anymore.
This is where you've got to support at least these four. I have tried Opera and all, but there's such a very few people, and when I brought it up, nothing's. Now, the one that gives me fits is Internet Explorer, and I'm going to explain why. Well, let's start with Internet Explorer. Apple Safari, if you go on a Mac, you can see Flash. In his infinite wisdom, Steve Jobs decided not to support Adobe Flash. So if you go into an iPhone or an iPad, it's what?
I have an iPhone. I know what you're talking about.
You're just going to see this white box, and it looks terrible. Now, what Ludo's been able to do with a beta version is convert Flash to Edge. So are we out of the woods? It's called Internet Explorer. Now, we developed an Edge version of one of our Flashes. We developed it in, what is it, Internet Explorer 9?
8.
No, it's 9.
No, it runs on 9,
Yeah, on Windows 7, because that's all that's available right now. Luna got it to work fine. I get a call from the client saying, I can't get it, it's a big file. But then she went on Firefox. It worked on Firefox. It worked on Chrome. So Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom, in XP, any version, they don't support 9. 8 don't work. Microsoft is not coming out with a version of Internet, at least not now, of Internet Explorer that's going to support Edge. Okay? 9 works fine. 10 came out. I got a call from one of my clients. They're using Internet Explorer 10. It doesn't work on 10. I can't believe it's not forward compatible. So here's what we're doing, and it's not obvious to other people, but I auto-detect if it's Internet Explorer. If it's Internet Explorer, I use Flash. If it's anything else, and this includes XP, then we use Edge right now. And that way, it works on every platform. Okay, this is something we've had to go to the School of Hard Knocks to figure out because we had to try things. I actually developed, so people say, what do you used to develop? I develop on Firefox, and then I go back and make it work with Internet Explorer. That's just the way it is. But I want the websites to work on every platform because then you're going to lose your client. Okay, this is one of my newest ones. Poor support for mobile devices. Okay, again, if you're going to be using mobile devices, you need to use Adobe Edge. And as Flash is not an issue. You have to use a font that's readable on a very small device. Your graphics need to be crisp. You can't have this grainy stuff because if you think it's grainy on a big computer, it's going to be grainy. It's going to be grainier. And again, the links need to be working. They need to be easy to use because when we're using mobile devices, we tend to use our fingers. Okay? So your fingers are going to do the walking, I mean, technically. So that's really about all I have to say. Back then, any questions? But the thing is, this also applies to social media too. If you have to have good pictures, this applies to your blogs. But use good design. Use something that's pleasant, but sends the message out there so that people work for you and with you. Thank you.
There have to be some questions.
Any questions?
Can you tell them your favorite slogan?
Don't be roadkill on the information superhighway. And in the back there on the tables, we have there's another handout. It's got all of the things in the business that we do. But I'll tell you, I left high tech 13 years ago, and I love what I do. And it's much nicer to soar with eagles than to work with turkeys.
I just want to make a comment. I'm so with you on IE. I used to be a religious IE user, and I actually used to use Netscape Navigator. It was good back in those days. Remember that? The Navigator thing, right? Like you're on the sea or something, the ocean, right? And then I switched to IE, and then IE just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And finally, I use Firefox now, and there's so many more compatible plugins you can use, and it's an open source program, and Microsoft just needs major help with that.
I don't understand it, but what I find a little difficult is that it worked on version 9, if it interests you, and it doesn't work on version 10, and that's unusual, because usually backwards compatible, in this case it's not.
It's Microsoft. I mean, I have a PC, and you know, I like my PC, but I've never been happy with IE. Never.
With Windows 7 it works. With Windows 7, IE is good.
No,
Firefox doesn't.
With Windows 7, IE 9 is good. If you upgrade to IE 10, it won't work. Don't upgrade. The messages don't upgrade to IE 10. There's really nothing there.
All right.
Until they fix this.
I have a quick question. I'm curious to hear your guys' perspective regarding crosslinks, and I totally support that too, like promoting each other. I think it's a good idea. But I know there's some schools of thought about the distinction between providing value and promoting others and pushing people away from our pages. I'm just curious what your perspective is.
Well, what I always do is, it's up to Chamber of Commerce or whatever, yes, I'll put that there and use the links. The chambers and places like that can always use visibility. If it's a person in a business, then you should always check with them first, because I agree, you know, it's almost like spamming. Most people will say, absolutely, put me on there and I'll put a link, but you may want to check and make sure that it's okay. You have a question?
And the incoming link library is usually relevant to your business, so don't just have everybody link to you just for the sake of it. I think it's good, you have to be really smart enough to figure that out.
You said that there's some problem with WordPress. I didn't catch what you said.
The only problem with, I think WordPress is a fabulous program, and the nice thing about blogs is you can maintain them yourself. The issue is that it comes with all of these public plugins. Some are good, some are not. And I'm just saying before, now there's nothing wrong with using a Kismet and a few of these others that have been all the time have been together with WordPress. But some of these newer ones, you want to make sure that there are no holes in them or whatever. You don't know.
Make sure to try it true.
That's the only thing I'm saying. Check around if it's something brand new. You might be able to, you can even go to Google and ask, has anybody used this module, and you should be able to find out, no, don't use it because I got a virus, or use it with confidence because it's really good. That's all I'm saying. Be careful what you call third party. Be very careful what you use.
Another question. Somebody said to me that Google doesn't like cross-links.
Google? Oh, Google. No, they love it. Well, Google doesn't per se use it. What Google looks at is what's called relevance, and it likes relevance. Now, you could have some cross-links that aren't really relevant to your website. Like, okay, in my case, I've got to redo website media. Now, if I start putting stuff there, I don't know, I hate to put that, but let's say dog training or garbage collection, no, they're not going to like that kind of stuff. And actually, they can downgrade you. So, again, what Ludus is saying, it has to be somewhat or remotely related to the business. I guess that's it.
Any other questions? Wow.
Great.
Give her a hand clap.
Yeah!
So as she sits down, give her another round of applause.